Hello everybody, I'm Spark249. Welcome to episode 9 of Let's Play Spyro Year of the Dragon. We're actually going to be starting the realms of Midday Gardens this episode with Icy Peak. The first level, which is themed completely after snow and ice. There's at least one more frozen altars. But this one also introduces the cannon, and this works a tad differently than it used to in Spyro 2. Instead of firing a cannonball, it fires this strange energy shot. So I'm going to ignore what this guy says. He basically says, I can't hit anything with this cannon, why don't you have a go? And then you go around shooting things, and he says, beginner's luck. Anyway, you're going to want to shoot every eagle in the level, seeing as they all give you gems. You're also going to want to shoot these ice sculptures, because they'll activate magical whirlwinds. Also, you want to shoot those guys. They're no threat unless you're on the ice. Right, the end of the level is actually up where that gondola is. And it will activate when you complete the level, so you can just skip to the end using it. Although with a perfect jump, you can glide to that staircase and skip the entire level. Of course, we're after 100%ing the game, so we're not going to do that. Also, there's an eagle over there I need to shoot. Come here. No? Can't aim any higher, so I'm going to have to wait for him to... Come on. Gotcha. And the gems will home in on you, so you don't have much chance of actually missing them. So jump on this magical whirlwind to go to this small island. Grab these gems, then just glide back. Okay, and we're off. So this level's also got quite a few of these explosive crates in it. Also, this guy is a metallic enemy. Here's the product. So yes, you don't ever charge these things. If you charge them, they'll detonate in your face. What you do is you light them with a flame breath. And then they'll drop a gem. You can actually push them around a couple of times, but just make sure you're out of the explosion range. Poor duck. Okay, there's the large enemy of the level. There we are. Now, as far as I'm aware, there are no locked challenge models in this level, so we ought to be able to complete the whole game. You'll get an evil laugh from these enemies when they go towards you. I'm not actually sure what they are, whether they're beavers or squirrels or something. But just flame them and you'll kill the enemy and turn it into a normal explosive crate. And you can also use the explosive crates to deal with enemies. Like so. However, I actually missed some gems. Okay, now I've concentrated enough to kill all these guys. If you look underneath the ice, there's actually some gems underneath it. And you may be wondering how we get them. Well, bear with me 2 seconds and I'll show you. By the way, you want to light this rocket with your flame breath. They'll home in and destroy predetermined metal crates. So if we follow its trajectory, it'll go up and destroy that metal crate. And don't forget that gem, seeing as I don't want to spend the end of this level scouting around. Okay, so you want to use this gun to shoot that ice door, that bomb, that ice door, that ice door, that guy, and the metal crate behind him. Not to mention this ice sculpture and that eagle. Got him. Okay, so you can't actually make it up to here, not without some fancy jumping. Whoops. We actually get to that later, that area up there. And if you might have seen, there is actually an egg up there. Just going to go and collect these gems, and then I'll show you how to get underneath the ice. It's not a glitch or anything, you're perfectly supposed to do this. Basically, there's a crack in the middle of this ice here, if you can make it out. And it has to be destroyed using a head bash. But of course you can't jump on the ice, so you're going to need to do this long glide. then flutter, then head bash. You are actually intended to come in through that passage up there and do it, but with a decent glide you can easily make it. And I don't fancy coming back later and repeating part of the level, so call that a sequence break if you will. To me it's just avoiding repetition. Okay, so that's all gems out of this small area, so we'll go back and jump out of the water ever so majestically. And let's move on. There's another egg up there, by the way. And in fact, if you're a good shot, which I doubt I'm going to be now that I've said that, there's also a Rhinoc hiding up there. A metal Rhinoc. And your shot will just clip through the wall enough to harm him if you aim it right. There we are. Killed him. So through here, you'll find these guys. And a head bash crate. Running along here. Whoa. As you can see, I foolishly tried to flame a metal enemy. See, I noticed that the squirrel, he won't actually try and attack until you stand on the ice. So you can stand this blatantly close to him, and then use him to kill his friends. Like so. Killed them all. Okay, here we're actually going to do some backtracking. This little staircase up here will lead you back around the edge of the level you've already been. Here you'll find that egg along with the Rhinoc I shot half a minute ago. Maynard, who is apparently going to fall asleep. Okay, this is also not how you're going to attempt to do this. Okay, I must be missing a staircase back in the level somewhere. Let's go back for 2 seconds and see if we can spot it. If not, we'll turn back around. No? Must be accessed later then. I don't generally like icy levels in Spyro games. They just prove to be an irritation, especially considering that their challenges tend to be quite significantly harder than the normal challenges. Anyway, moving up here, we'll find a couple more Rhinocs hiding from us. One of whom I missed. By the way, they fire snowballs from those guns. Okay, so moving on. We're actually nearly at the end of the level. Of course, we need to grab all the gems first, so let's use this to open up that glass door. Open up that glass door. You can actually use one of the TNT crates to do that if you so wish. Kill these two birds, which I'm failing at miserably. Let's just fire randomly in the slim hope we'll actually hit one. There we go. And break this. Let's make that jump. And there's a head bash crate over here. Okay, there we go. Not actually sure why I came up here then. Anyway, let's destroy all the TNT crates and grab all this cash. Okay, I knocked one down here, so there must be a gem down here. Now there's a couple of Rhinocs in here, one of whom I missed. But once again, they won't actually attack you unless they're on screen most of the time. Okay, I'll talk to this guy. This is Doug.
I put up ice blocks this morning so Bob wouldn't beat me to the ice fishing hole.
You cheater.
If you want to try out the hole, you can borrow this fishing lure I've been using.
Once again, these are horrible, horrible people. They were using this baby dragon as a fishing lure. Chet. A crybaby, apparently.
Oh, by the way, feel free to use our gondola whenever you want.
I'm looking at its model and realising that it's horribly rendered against the wire. That's funny. Anyway, you notice that Doug left. He's going to be building us our next mode of transportation. Okay, a few more completely aimless shots. Hey, I actually randomly hit one. Come on. Die. There we are. That may be all the eagles. Anyway, we're now going to make this glide. This is how we get around to that other area, the first far-off island. This is how you're intended to get, excuse me, to that broken bit of ice. And notice how we did it right at the beginning of the game rather than right at the end of this level. So a few more jumps, an extra life there, which is handy. And by gliding to here, we'll be able to reach this dragon egg. Reese? Okay, now hopefully we have most of the eggs. I'm now going to dart through this level extremely quickly, because you may have noticed at some point Moneybags was standing around, and yes, as usual, he wants us to pay him. And he's actually going to charge us quite a lot for a ticket to an ice skating show.
Step right up, Spyro. Behind this door is the single greatest show on Earth. That's right, ice dancing. Season tickets are available, but you'll have to act fast.
500 gems.
I always knew you were a cultured sort of dragon. Well, step right in. The show's about to start.
Of course it is. It can only start when the player character's there. So paying him unlocks that door and allows you access to this challenge portal. Now, this is sort of like an escort mission. You'll have to defend Nancy here from ice hockey players.
Players are ruining it. Every time I start my routine, they come in and smack me with their sticks. Oh, I sure wish I had a partner. Someone courageous and strong and handsome and purple who breathes fire.
That's very specific.
Will you please help me perform my ice dance? These mean Rhineck hockey players keep hogging the ice, and all I want to do is dance.
Yes, sure.
Thanks, let's go.
So, obviously you can't charge nor jump, so you have to move around carefully, and at set times these Rhineck hockey players will attempt to attack Nancy, and you just have to breathe fire on them to keep them from hitting her. It can get a tad difficult simply due to rubbish maneuverability, like that. Nancy got in my way in that attempt, and yeah, I can't actually remember the patterns in which they attack either. I'm positive I've just let one get to her. No? Okay, so... they won't immediately attack her either. You've got a second or two before they actually complete their attack. I think we're done. Oh no, there's a couple more. They're going from every direction at once now. Are we done? We're done! Yay! So now we get a bunch of lovely roses thrown down onto us.
We did it! That was my best performance ever.
It wasn't amazingly spectacular. I'm kind of ashamed I paid 500 gems for it.
Why don't you have it?
They tried to egg you. Cerny. A dragonborn wearing glasses. 41 eggs, so we're getting there. I'm glad I did that in one attempt. That's one of those challenges which isn't really that difficult, and I usually end up messing up 3,000 times in a row. Okay, so the last couple of eggs are down here. I'll get the gems on the way back up. And this is also the staircase which I told you you could glide to from the beginning of the level if you were good enough. Okay, so through here, we're going to find a supercharge challenge. You see there's two thieves, a red one up on that little pedestal which we're not chasing, and this yellow one. They're both very difficult to catch. They both can change their routes at the last second. And they're both those super fast thieves. There's also a bunch of gems hidden around the level which we're going to have to find afterwards. Which way are you going to take? You're going to take left-hand route. You see, they are multiple routes they can take. Ah! I am so glad I recovered from that. I'm still sort of... Got him! This is hard. And I'm assuming if you're as rubbish as I am. Betty! Another dragonborn wearing glasses and not able to fly. Okay, the red one is pretty much the exact same thing. He's not that much faster, if at all. Oh, you're going that way this time? Just like with any thief chase, just try and cut corners without cutting them to the point they'll turn around, because if they turn around on this track, you were not going to be able to chase them, simple as. Because some of these jumps simply aren't possible from the opposite direction. Come on. I need him to go left at the beginning because I have an easier time catching them when they go that way. Come on, go left. I'm sure there's a way to manipulate it with which way you turn and things. I'm not close enough to attempt the fire breath yet, so... This might be it. No. As you can see, it's just a lot of... No! So close! I just am really rubbish at aiming. Gotcha! Scout. Scout can moonwalk. From birth. I can't moonwalk and that makes me sad. Okay, so 6 eggs. So here's some of the gems. They're behind this ice wall. And a metal crate. How do you break it? Use the supercharge. I'm sure that's just there to teach players that you can in fact supercharge crates open. Now you want to jump off here and turn left. Kind of a mean place to hide some gems. And there's also a magical whirlwind. Which will take you all the way over to here and find some more gems. Okay, now there's actually one more thing to do here, assuming I didn't miss any gems. And that little pedestal that the thief was on at the beginning, the red one, if you land on that, that's a skill point. I believe this is... No, the Impossible Towers and Charmed Ridge we're talking about. So pulling back and hover. Ta-da! So let's leave, while supercharging of course. Wouldn't that be cool if it let you carry your supercharge back into the main level? There'd be absolutely no use for it in this level. But yay, we've done it! We've fully completed Icy Peak. And thankfully the portal is just here. Now, although Doug is now going to begin building us a new mode of transport, we are still able to use the balloon until he's completed it. And I'll quickly show you that. So if we go back in here, the first thing you'll notice is that yes, the balloon is still here. But over in the corner, Doug is... well, doing something. You'll have to find out after we've freed a few more people. I don't know, freeing them doesn't sound right. Let's say helped. Anyway guys, that's going to be it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm Spark249. Have fun!